and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Everyone, I hope you're sitting down. Let's talk about some names that we know. Liz Cheney, for example, her name is getting out there in the press. You know, there's been a lot of talk of, well, will Joe Manchin join the Republican Party? I don't know if that'll happen. But now there's talk about Liz Cheney. That's right. Vice President Dick Cheney's. I screwed that up.
Or you got it right.
I got it right. But actually, I was just kind of, going for the joke on that.
I caught that one.
Yes. So basically, Liz Cheney is being targeted by the GOP, and there's a lot of talk about how she's this fighter, and Senator Bernie Sanders just went to bat for her. I know.
What a time.
Here it is, a tweet from Senator Sanders. Representative Liz Cheney, Republican from Wyoming, will likely be voted off the House Republican leadership. Her crime, acknowledging the reality that Trump lost the election. The Republican Party is no longer a conservative party. It is an anti-democratic cult pushing the big lie and conspiracy theories. Now, I do know one thing. Bernie Sanders, that tweet wasn't very cash money of you, buddy. Okay? It wasn't. It was stupid. And I know for a fact that you didn't even tweet that out, but you probably gave a thumbs up to it or whatever. Maybe somebody gave a thumbs up to it. But let the GOP have its infighting. Okay, let them have their infighting. They had it before. It was a Tea Party. But don't worry, the Democrats are going to screw it up like they always do, like they did in 2010 when the Republican Tea Party took over the House and Senate under Obama's administration. So this is going to happen again. But Bernie, you have bigger issues to worry about because the Democratic establishment also does lies. It also screws up. It also shoots itself in the foot. There's a lot of infighting. Well, there used to be, or maybe there was the illusion of some kind of infighting happening within the Democratic Party until the progressives in the House and Senate chose to just fall in line and be with the Blue Army, and that's that. But we got a video from Case Study QB because even corporate media is talking about it. Let's play this video. Shout out to Case Study QB. Be sure to follow him on Twitter and check out his YouTube channel because he's doing a lot of good stuff. Let's play this video.
She's increasingly on an island here. It looks like, if you talk to people behind the scenes, she is going to be pushed out of that job as leadership chair in the Republican Party because she made the statement again that the election of 2020 was not stolen.
Well, you know, Mika, it's sort of the Obi-Wan Kenobi principle. Strike her down, and she'll only become stronger.
Yeah.
Darth,
how is that relevant?
The Wall Street Journal yesterday in a scathing editorial that we're going to be reading in a little bit, saying GOP leaders should not have to lie about 2020 to keep their jobs.
Well, let's read it now. I mean, they write in part this: Republicans will look foolish or worse to swing voters if they refight 2020 in 2022. They can truthfully say that Democrats used lawsuits to exploit the pandemic to change the election rules in some states. They can also say Democratic judges on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court let Democrats get away with it. Democrats did a better job of exploiting the pandemic election rules than the GOP. But there's no evidence any of this was...
I just want to throw out here, to be real, Republicans are literally the last people that ever get to make this point because, again, Democrats rig primaries, Republicans rig elections. So the Republicans saying that we were out-rigged is a quite pathetic stance to take in general.
Yeah. There we go. Let's go continue on playing with the rest of that video.
Decisive. As Mr. Trump lost the popular vote in a rout and the Electoral College by a similar margin to what he won in 2016. Mr. Trump lost even as Republicans gained 12 seats in the House. The election was close, but not as close as others in American history. Republicans should find a way to speak this truth to voters in 2022 and quickly turn to running on an agenda for the future that will check Mr. Biden and his cradle-to-grave entitlement state. Purging Liz Cheney for honesty would diminish the party. And, Joe, it just goes back to our lead story and how serious it is, what this judge has said about the Trump presidency, about the Mueller report, that the president, with the help of the attorney general, used the Mueller report to drum up hate, to foment anger, and it all led up to January 6th.
I just want to give out a shout out to Joe Scarborough acting really upset about the guy he was almost vice president for.
Mm-hmm. Let's play the rest of it.
And, by the way, took the Republican Party hostage.
Right.
And they are choosing to stay there.
Okay, so let's look at the bigger picture here. Liz Cheney is no saint, and look, I understand the fact that a lot of people still want to talk about what happened on January 6th, but you know the Republican Party, they're going to run their initiative and their platform however which way they want. Liz Cheney stating that, okay, big deal, but the rest of the party seems to be moving on without her because again, in 2016, what did Donald Trump do to a lot of name brand recognized politicians? He destroyed all 16 of them. They didn't stand a chance. So any kind of dynastic name actually having any kind of weight into this entire election that's going to happen in the midterms is almost null and void because, again, Trump won over the most important thing, not the Republican donor, but the Republican voter. The donors lost in 2016 during the primary. So the thing is, Trump still has some kind of political power. But the very fact that right now there's all this stuff everyone's addressing, oh, well, Liz Cheney is smart. Liz Cheney's a fighter. Liz Cheney comes from a political family that got us into this nightmare already.
Yeah.
You know, let's not forget the actions of what her dear old dad did during the Bush administration, how we got into the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Because if you're not upset about that, you should be. And this is why we need to really put limits on families maintaining political power and building political dynasties. We're supposed to live in a democracy, not in not some modern neo-feudalism that we're in. But, oh, wait, we've already perfected it. Daniel.
Yeah, so it's just a weird thing where Bernie Sanders is in a position where he's like, my best choice is to engage in this conversation and defend the daughter of Cheney. We're just in a weird place. I just feel like the way that I try and get through this and I try and make this all make sense to me at least is I try and think about what I would be thinking about this time in 10 or 20 years in the future. And I feel like at some point when this phase of the world that we're in the U.S., and I think the phase really is best described as our empire is dying. And there are fewer resources to go around, even though they're basically unlimited. We've manufactured scarcity. And every regular person is feeling this loss like deep intrinsically. It's like a resonancy, harmonic resonancy like everyone feels unless you have enough money where you're like, no, everything's fine. Everything's good. The inequality is manageable. Joe Biden's a good president. I would really like, on top of this, all the polls that get done to be broken down by income bracket. We live in very weird times, but I think in the future it's going to make more sense. But right now we're inside of this weird thing and it seems so chaotic, but I really do think that the easiest way to think of this is the same as why there's so much infighting everywhere. America's stopped expanding. America is declining. And America feels it even though it doesn't think it.
Yeah. And another note too, Bernie, what are you doing? Like, now's the time to be rallying your supporters and building a political movement so that you can be ready in 2022. Let the GOP have their infighting. It's all like already the establishment Republicans are going to lose. Trump and his followers are going to basically win over the day. They're going to win. It's a simple fact. And again, you could be using your resources and your time talking about how we got to hold the Democratic establishment accountable. And I don't know, maybe vote out somebody like Joe Manchin or Kristen Sinema. Maybe you could spend your time doing that. But oh wait, you've fallen in line and decided to play the Democrats are united and we're one big happy family. Again, shout out to Case Study QB for showing that video because, again, corporate media is going to try and promote it. And don't be surprised if you see more videos out there, or is it at maybe some article saying maybe we can get some of the moderate Republicans to become Democrats, and then the Democrats have even a bigger majority in the House. But oh, wait, the Democrats are a center-right party. So we're not going to get a Medicare for all thing. You're not going to hold their feet to the fire and push them left. How's that working out with Biden? Or Manchin, or Sinema. Not good, is it? It's madness and stupidity.